everyone, welcome to my channel, Kay Reads and Crochets. Today I decided that I wanted to show you some crochet projects that I always like to make when I am either running low on time or running low on motivation. These are nice, quick, easy projects that I can knock out super quickly. Until my book blanket for 2024, I had never really made anything super big or crazy. I don't really make clothes for myself. I don't really make a lot of blankets. I'm not a very fast crocheter. Projects with like a huge time investment literally take me forever, and I just don't always have the motivation to stay dedicated to a single project for an extended period of time. Also, just like physically, I'm not a very fast crocheter. I get a lot of cramps in my joints, especially during the colder months, so times like now is actually really hard physically to crochet for me as well. I also really like these smaller projects because when I do craft shows, the smaller projects tend to be the things that sell better, so I like to prepare a whole lot of small projects because they just generally are more appealing and more budget friendly than a big project. I try to price my work as fairly as possible for myself. Large projects just aren't always in people's budgets, and I think that the smaller projects that I make do get people talking more. It's more exciting to have a conversation with somebody who's there at your booth. The first category of quick and easy crochet projects that I like to make are plants. Especially these little hanging ones tend to sell really well. I've also made little potted plants that people seem to really enjoy, and people seem to really like them because they're just super stinking cute. I started making crochet plants for my wedding, actually. I made my own bouquet and my bridesmaids' bouquets, and I just had so much fun with it. I found a lot of really good patterns online, as well as in a couple of books that I have. I just wanted to see what else I could do. It's a really good way to use up those like weirdly small quantities of yarn that are too small to really do anything, but too large to put into like a scrap cake. Usually I can get one done in about 2 hours, depending on what kind of plant I'm doing, whether it's going to be a potted plant, whether it has flowers, all of those things. These sell really well at craft shows. A lot of people just think they're adorable. I always tell them that they make really good housewarming gifts, or they're really good decorations for people like me that can't keep real plants alive. The next quick and easy crochet project that I like to make is wristlet keychains. I just started making these, and this is another great way to use up some of those extra scraps that are like just a weird size that you don't really know what else to do with. These are super beginner friendly. I used a half double crochet for this one. You could use a single crochet, you could use a double crochet. So it's really good for people who are maybe new to crocheting. You really just crochet a whole bunch of really short rows together, and then you just sew it over the edge of this D-ring, which I got these on Amazon in bulk for like a 50 pack. So these are pretty cheap and easy to get started on, and really just crank out a whole bunch of them in one go. I haven't done any craft shows yet this year, but I think I'm gonna make a whole bunch of these and see how well they do. I have a feeling that these will sell pretty well for how quick and easy they go together. The next batch of quick and easy crochet projects that I love to stitch up are actually cat toys. These ones belong to my cats, and they have been very well loved, which is why they are covered in cat hair. So these are just small stuffies that I've filled with stuffing and catnip, and my cats go crazy for them. I make these out of cotton yarn. If you have a cat who really likes to either bunny kick or bite their toys, it holds up a little bit better than something like an acrylic or a wool yarn. I think these are super fun. You can make pretty much anything into a cat toy as long as you have a small enough stuffy pattern for it. My favorite are the octopi, and I like to make these little fruits. I once did a craft show at like a blueberry festival, so they wanted lots of blueberry themed items, and I just went crazy from there. I've done strawberries, I've done lemons, I've done oranges. I wanted to do candy corn this Halloween, but I actually didn't get a chance to. These octopi are probably my best sellers on Etsy. I do make and sell these on Etsy, and these are definitely the most popular item, and usually it's my most popular item at craft shows as well. I tend to use a slightly smaller hook than what the yarn recommends. We don't want any of that stuffing falling out. We want it to stand up to the wear and tear that a cat will put onto it. And if you don't have cats or anyone with cats, I've also had people ask me to make them little octopi and just put like a keychain on the top. So you don't have to put catnip in there if you don't want to. I have two cats, and one of them, Shifra, loves to play fetch with her toys. So sometimes she'll just carry one of these around and just yell at me to throw it. These are a huge hit. The next quick and easy crochet project that I like to do is actually a Kindle cover for my Kindle. These are really nice and easy because it's a pretty repetitive stitch. I like to do, again, a half double crochet because that's something that I do really fast, but you can really customize it if you want to try practicing other stitches or if you want to get really creative with it. I wouldn't recommend a stitch that's got a lot of height to it. I probably wouldn't do anything larger than a double crochet just because it creates a lot of gapping in between your stitches. This is a great one to do while you are engaged in another project, so either listening to an audiobook, watching TV, anything like that where you can kind of like turn your brain off and just stitch. I think these are a great project for something like that. These are really cool for showing off your variegated yarns. I think that some of the color patterns that you can get always end up looking beautiful. And these are also really fun to customize. Once you know how to do this little base, you can really attach anything else you want to on top of it. So for example, for Halloween this year, I made this one with some little ghosties on it. And the ghosties will actually glow in the dark. It's glow in the dark yarn, which is so cool. If you like using your scrap yarn to make the flowers that I was telling you about earlier, I made this Kindle cover, which is inspired by Taylor Swift's Eras Tour piano, because I am nothing if not a Swiftie. If you're good with a sewing machine or with a needle and thread, you can also add a lining to the inside. I want to line the inside of this Eras Tour one just because it's got so much of the like extra yarn from where I tied everything on, just to protect your screen a little bit better. So these are great to make as gifts for friends if you have like a specific theme or colors or fabrics that you know they'll be excited about. The last project that I want to show you are these. These are crocheted panels that I like to donate to an organization called Warm Up America. You can make up these little panels. Any kind of stitch pretty much is acceptable, but you want to make sure that you leave a long tail because they will then box them up and send them to craft groups or service organizations to sew together into blankets that can then be donated to local organizations like homeless shelters or hospitals or anybody who needs a little extra warmth. They ask for the panels to be 7 inches by 9 inches, or if you're feeling really ambitious, they do take donations of like completed projects. So if you're somebody who has a lot of blankets lying around and they don't know what to do with them, they'll take blankets, they'll take scarves, they'll take hats, they'll take all sorts of things. These panels are another thing that is great for those weird sized scraps of yarn. Again, too small to really make something with, but too big to put into a scrap cake. These are a great size for those. They do have patterns on their website. I usually stick with a half double crochet or a double crochet because that's a stitch that I know I do quickly. I usually try to complete anywhere between 25 to 50 panels before I send them off, but that's just me. They'll sort them into boxes of 500 to send out to craft groups or service groups that will put them together. If you're interested in more information about Warm Up America, I will leave a link to their website in the description box below. There are so many great options for crochet projects that stitch up quickly and easily, whether you're a beginner, whether you're just looking for something quick to do in a short amount of time, whether you're just looking for a little bit of inspiration to start something but you don't know what you want to start. These are a great way to just get a little bit of motivation and get something done. If you have any other suggestions or if you have a project that you think I should try, I would love to hear about it. Until next time, I hope you have a great day. I hope you get to do something you love, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!